This is a video on the Simucube pedal versus the Moza mBooster. Starting out, the Moza mBooster pedal looks impressive. It's an active pedal, so you can change the feel through the software instead of springs or elastomers. On paper, it sounds great, but once I started using it, I noticed that there was a strange, subtle feeling that I didn't love about it. One of the things I didn't like about the Moza pedal was when I was first installing it on my rig, the Moza pedal is very weird. It's not universal, so you can't mount it on every single rig. You need to have a very special bolt pattern. And for me, that was a deal breaker, because with the Simucube, you have just these lines, you have these mounting lines, and I'll show a picture of that. But one of the things that I loved about the Simucube is you can fit that on every single rig. Every single rig is going to have that lineup. Once I got the Moza mBooster pedal mounted, it was okay. It was pretty good. I liked it. I had to tweak the settings around quite a bit to figure out exactly how I wanted that pedal. I mean, with the Simucube, it was a little bit easier. I wasn't nearly as confused. The software is pretty similar, but you can't go nearly as in depth as you can in the Simucube. One thing that I noticed with the Moza mBooster pedal is that it's muffled. Every brake feel, every traction control, it's muffled. One thing that I love about the Simucube is it's clear, it's present, and everything about it just feels good. The Simucube, it does cost $2,000. It's not cheap, but with the Moza mBooster pedal, you're getting, it's $800, $900 with the mount. It's not quite there. It's not where I want it to be. I did see that SimMagic is coming out with a new pedal, and I'm very excited to try that when I get my hands on it, but hasn't quite released yet. When I first plugged the Moza in, the Moza started with this hissing noise, and I was like, why is it hissing? What's going on? And apparently that's just the sound that it makes. So when I went to plug in my Simucube, I was like, does my Simucube make that sound? No. My Simucube is quiet. My Moza is loud. I really wanted to love the Moza pedal. I really wanted the Moza mBooster to be better than the Simucube. I wanted to get an excuse to sell my Simucube and move on to the Moza mBooster. I want there to be a better pedal than Simucube, but it's not. It really does reflect in that price. For the $800 price, it's not bad. If you only have $800, great, spend it on that. But if you have the money for a Simucube, I would recommend going to the Simucube. The reason being, it's clearer, it's stronger, everything about it just feels better. The customization of the settings feels terrific. There's way more dynamics in the Simucube pedal, whereas in the Moza, there's not quite as much customization. And in their software, it really shows that. I love, love, love the Simucube. I only have the ActivePedal Pro, and I didn't quite feel the need to upgrade to the ActivePedal Ultimate. The Ultimate, I don't press that hard on my sim rig. I'm usually sitting around a force of 50 to 60 kilograms, whereas the Ultimate goes up to 200, I think. And I think the Moza matches that, but the Moza feels way stiffer. Now, when I switched the Simucube as the brake to the throttle, it was night and day. I could feel back to back how I was feeling in the moment. So the Moza felt really muffled, and the Simucube is very clear. You can feel the G-force, you can feel engine of the car, you can feel everything you want to feel. Whereas in the Moza, it's pretty much just like the end of the braking. And I had to play around with it just to get the right feel for what I wanted. Whereas in the Simucube, the setup was super easy. I got the hang of it in just a second. There was profiles, even just to help me figure it out within the first day. Moza, I had to play around with it for a couple of days. I didn't mind it, but that being said, it could have been a better pedal, it could have been a better software experience. There's a lot of things that I would change and maybe even improve on the second edition of that. One thing I might mention is that this is a first gen product. The Moza mBooster Active Pedal, it's good. At the end of the day, what they've done is impressive, but I wouldn't recommend buying this pedal yet. Either get the Simucube or stick with the pedals you have. I would wait another 1 to 2 years just to see what else comes out. There's gonna be other brands that want to rival Simucube, and they're gonna do that. It's just a matter of time. I would hold off if you're wanting to purchase an active pedal. These are my final thoughts. At the end of the day, it's up to you whether you want to cheap out and get the Moza mBooster pedal, or you want to go all the way and get the Simucube pedal. Either way, you really can't go wrong. Because I have a Simucube 2 Pro, I am biased towards Simucube. It links into my environment. The software is all the same, whether I use my Simucube 2 Pro or my ActivePedal. It's all in the same place, and I can load in profiles to the Simucube 2 Pro or the ActivePedal. Whereas in Moza, I don't see any. Maybe I'm missing something, but I'm not seeing those profiles, and there's not a large community of those either. One of the downfalls of the Moza is that it is extremely loud for a pedal. It might not be whining, there's no coil whine, but it is super, super loud. And that's one of the things that I absolutely hate about the Moza. Moza, they would never send me a review unit, but if they did, they would know that this is super loud. I want to say it's probably around 40 to 60 decibels. Now, that might seem not like a ton, but it is a lot. It is so loud. You can just hear it humming in the background. There are some pros to this though. So the Moza is pretty easy to set up. All you gotta do is download the Moza Pit Stop software, and you just gotta connect your pedal. You swipe down to the pedal connection, hop in, you can choose from effects, you can choose the brake curve, the throttle curve, and I think you can even use it as a clutch, I'm not quite sure. But I know for sure you can use it as a brake and a throttle. It's pretty good for both of those. I wouldn't say it's nearly as good as the Simucube. If it were on a scale of 1 to 10, I would rate the Simucube as a 9 and the Moza as more of like a 5.5 to the 6 range. My recommendation would be you save up and you get the Simucube pedal. Obviously, the Simucube pedal costs more than some people's rigs, and that's a problem. I don't think that the Simucube pedal is necessarily worth the $2,000. That being said, I don't believe that the Moza mBooster pedal is worth the $800. I feel like they have a lot of things to improve upon. If you like this review, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. I'll be doing a giveaway at 1,000 subscribers, so stay tuned for that. And as always, thanks for watching.